Hi, I'm Nicole Norton, and I am here with all of my family members. I'm going to take a video of them really quick so you can see that they're all here. Here's all of them. Yep, they're going to sit very nicely and quietly through this. All right. Yeah, I got them. Okay. So, the first confirmed U.S. measles death in more than a decade. This was the news-breaking headline by Tara Hele on July 2nd, 2015. 166. That is the number of measles cases last year, according to Mark Brady, who wrote Reemergence of 5 Vaccine Preventable Diseases on Medscapes.com. Measles is one of many vaccine preventable diseases that are making a reoccurrence in our nation. This is a big problem. There's people dying from this, and that shouldn't happen because these are vaccine preventable. Vaccines save lives. Sure, people all have their reasons for not wanting to vaccinate their children, but it puts everyone else at risk. So how do we fix this problem? These are all good points, but the bottom line is unvaccinated children are a risk to themselves and everyone surrounding them, and everyone should be vaccinated. Last year, my mom came down with pertussis, also known as whooping cough. This disease is characterized by the sound people make when they are gasping for air because they cannot catch their breath. They turn blue, they break ribs, a lot of them hospitalized, and some of them even die because this disease is so violent. Can you imagine that in a newborn? They don't have the musculature to cough up those secretions, and a lot of times they succumb to this disease. So last year, in 2014, there was 32,971 cases of pertussis, according to the CDC.gov. That's a 15% increase from 2013. According to www.health.newyork.gov, they found that a lot of people also do not want to vaccinate their children because, what part of the problem with people not vaccinating their children is obviously they can die. And also, a lot of medical staff is no longer trained correctly in these diseases because they were nearly eradicated. So people come into the hospitals with measles or mumps, and a lot of the doctors and nurses may not even recognize what this disease is because they don't teach it anymore. So that puts your child even more at risk. They may not be able to get the proper medical treatment they need. Also, according to www.whyichoose.org, they found that another reason people not being vaccinated is a large problem is because it puts others at risk, in particularly people who are immunocompromised, like people with HIV, cancer, and especially newborn babies who can't be vaccinated yet. So all of these diseases are coming back from, and they should be eradicated because of vaccines. However, there's people choosing not to vaccinate, and they're putting people who can't take care of themselves because their immune systems are compromised at risk. Pertussis, according to www.whyichoose.org, can cause permanent brain damage and death. Is that a side effect you would like your child to contract because you didn't get them a vaccine? It's not easily treated. In California in 1993, there was over 600 cases of pertussis, and 2 children actually died from that. In 1988 through 1990, in California, there's 2,014 cases of measles. Many of you may have heard of measles as just a couple bumps on you, they go away, no big deal. Well, that's not the case because 44 of those children died. Diphtheria can cause breathing problems, heart failure, paralysis, and death. And several years ago, there was actually a child in California who passed away from diphtheria because his father chose not to vaccinate him for religious and social reasons. As a parent, how would you feel if your child died of a disease that was vaccine preventable? So with all of these things that can go wrong with these diseases that are vaccine preventable, why aren't people vaccinating? What causes them to not want to vaccinate? One of the most common stigmas that goes along with vaccines is autism. People think that vaccines cause autism, and this stigma has been around for years. According to Eric March on Upworthy.com, he reviewed many medical journals, and he said, yep, the evidence against a vaccine autism link is so overwhelming that even a study funded specifically to find such a link was unable to find one. He also found that in a journal in 2013 by Journal of Pediatrics, there was no link, and the Journal of American Medical Association found no link in 2015. And this is only 3 medical journals. There has been thousands of these studies done, especially in other countries who have better tracking systems from the time children are born till the time they die. There's a lot better medical records, and they've reviewed those countries and still found no link. According to vaccines.procon.org, they also found that a lot of people do not want to vaccinate their children because they don't feel like the government should be able to tell them how to care for their child. That's a good point. However, by you not vaccinating your child, you're putting my child, my family's children, and everyone surrounding them at risk. These diseases are not just, they wouldn't make a vaccine for a disease that was no big deal. These diseases kill people. So how do we fix this problem? We need to educate and vaccinate. There are so many resources out there to learn about vaccines, and your doctors are very knowledgeable about this. They can answer any and all questions you have, and if they don't know it, I'm sure they can find resources to help you out. They can talk to you about the side effects that vaccines actually do have, and a lot of times the side effects that go along with vaccines are actually because of how they're made. Like, a lot of vaccines are made in eggs. They grow the virus in an egg. Kids are allergic to eggs. They have anaphylactic reaction to the eggs, not because the vaccine is bad or causing them to go crazy, anything like that. So you can talk to your doctors, and then vaccines.gov actually explains how vaccinations work on a cellular level, how they make antibodies and create an immunity. So it's in pretty layman terms, so anyone can read it and figure out how vaccines work. And also, CDC.gov offers schedules that are easy to read for everyone on when you need to vaccinate children. It has little sections broken down all the way from infants, toddlers, adolescents, and adults. So people can look at that also. And vaccines save lives. That is the bottom line. We've discussed the problems with not vaccinating, the reasons some people choose not to, and how to change this problem. Unvaccinated children are a risk to themselves and everyone around them. And vaccines save lives, and everyone should vaccinate. No child should be put at risk for a life-threatening disease that is completely preventable, and they definitely should not die from a life-threatening disease that could have been prevented. I know if my child contracted a disease that was vaccine preventable, I would not be able to live with myself. Save a life and vaccinate your children. Thank you. Yay.
You go.